Okay, going over how to change a Lovejoy on a centrifugal pump today. This is a real simple job. It doesn't take much. Pretty self-explanatory, except you might make, your first few times trying to do this, you might make some fatal mistakes. So I'm going to review those with you today and kind of explain why and give you some troubleshooting tips. So when you're changing a Lovejoy or a coupler, however you want to say it, first, you get the old pieces out of there, and then you need to spin each side freely to figure out why this broke. This is your failsafe, so either your bearings in your motor have locked up, or your pump is seized up, or something's in your pump end or your fluid end or something that has caused this to break. That, or maybe it wasn't aligned or installed improperly. The case on this one was the hold down bolts came loose, and it caused this to get out of balance and shred the old one out of there. So, which now removing this coupling, or installing the new one first, we'll start there. There's two Allen heads in each side of the coupling halves here. All right. Now pulling these back problem is what I've seen a lot of people do is they try to loosen these, try to slide them back. They're going to be rusted up. They're not going to slide back very easily. So I don't recommend that. I mean, you could try doing that. I don't recommend it. A lot of people will try to beat on the surface of this. This is cast iron. You will break this trying to hammer on it or trying to pry on it. And these aren't cheap. I mean, you could spend easily $150 to $300 replacing your coupling. Okay. When trying to find your parts, they are stamped and numbered. And on the old Lovejoy, if you can still see it, you want to try to pull the numbers off of the rubber. Like this was an 8J, which is a pretty common one. It's for a larger size. And then also if you're trying to replace the cast iron halves, if they broke, you have to pick the shaft size and the coupling size. So it's kind of and the coupling size determines on your speed and torque and what you're doing, what your application is. So it is kind of tricky trying to order these two if you have broke them. So I recommend not loosening the Allen heads and not trying to slide the cast iron halves back to put the new coupling in. I recommend removing your electric motor. Always, just in my opinion, unbolt the electric motor. It's 4 bolts, pull it off of there, put the new coupling in, and then mount the electric motor back on. Now, doing this, you can do it by yourself. I mean, I did this one today, one-man job. You got to watch your fingers on pulling that electric motor out. So I do recommend calling in a second guy to give you a hand on pulling the electric motor off and then sliding it back into place. Once you have it back into place, if everything's checked out good, you got to level the electric motor, which should already be done for you, but in case you're doing a new install, or maybe you haven't found the issue and you feel like maybe that is the issue, you could put shims in right here or washers to raise this. You'll put a little torpedo level across the top of your Lovejoy or on the sides. You need to make sure these are perfectly aligned all the way around. That way you're not going to shred another one. So you do that with adding shims underneath the bolts of your electric motor. Other than that, it's really simple. Definitely one-man job. Parts, I always recommend, if that definitely is one of the rubber insert on that is definitely one of your spare parts that you keep on site, because you can lose these over the smallest things. I mean, a rag can go through this motor that somebody's dropped in the system, and boom, you've lost that Lovejoy. So highly recommend keeping that as spare parts. Really easy to change. Thanks, guys.